Okay, let's begin.
Alright, so we're going to be reading in James 2. And I'm going to give you a little backstory. So in James, James 1 is talking about the trials of faith, where sometimes you go through a trial and it seems like why am I going through this? What's the point of me going through this trial? It says we need to rejoice in the trials, because when we rejoice and we put everything in God's hands, He pulls us through those trials. So that's James 1. Me and Aaron did something. We talked about James 1 before, and it's just talking about how we're supposed to be joyful, and even in the trials. Because when we're joyful, we give it to God and say, okay, God, we know that you have us, and we know that you can do so much more in our lives. So we give it to you. We give you everything that we're going through. It could be a trial as simple as tests in school or something, anything. I mean, it don't really matter what it is, but just rejoice in it. So, and then in James 2, it's talking about honoring the poor person. That's the first part of James 2. It says you need to honor the poor. It doesn't mean literally the poor. Yes, it means the poor people, but it's talking about people that are, we don't need to respect people that are rich, or to respect someone just because they're cool. We need to respect everyone that we come in contact with. We need to show honor to everyone that we come into contact with, even if they don't seem like they're wealthy or whatever. I mean, but I'm gonna pick up in James 2. I'm gonna pick up in let's see, I think it's 14. And what it says in my Bible app, whatever, is show faith with works. So, what is good? What is it good, my brother and sister? If someone says he has faith but does not have works, can such faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and lacking daily food, and one of you says to them, go in shalom, or go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but you do not give them what the body needs, or what good is that? So also faith, if it does not have works, it is dead by itself. So we talked about faith last week, didn't we? How Aaron said faith was trusting. So without trust and work, it is dead. So that's kind of important in our daily walk. We have to understand that we can't just do a good lip service. So I have faith, brother, that anything I can pray for you, and you don't pray for them, that's not work. It's if you're just saying I have faith and I believe that God's going to do something, and you don't pray for that person, that's not doing the work, or working to say, okay, I know that I have trust in God that He will do what He's faithful to do in my life. Or if they're wanting a healing or something, and you're saying, I believe that, and I have faith that God's going to heal you. But if you don't pray for that person, there's no work that you're doing. So that it's what it says in the Word. It says, it is dead by itself. It's just a lip service. That's pretty cool. I thought that was like light bulb. And I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting. And I don't know, maybe you guys have already figured that out. I mean, I don't know, it just kind of popped out at me today. I said, dude, that is some legit stuff, like, for real. I mean, it's just, I can't get over it. So also with trust, if it does not have works, it is dead by itself, or faith, whatever you want to put there. It's, you have to have an action with faith or with trust, because you can't go and just have faith and say, okay, I have faith, but you don't do anything about it. That's pretty plain and simple. If the Bible says without faith there's no works and it's just dead,
Plant the seeds.
plant the seeds. You have to go out and do it. Got to do it. So let's continue reading. So where did I leave off at? 18. Okay. But someone will say, you have faith and have works. Show me your faith without works, and I'll show you faith by my works. So what that's saying is, and I have works. So it's talking about, I guess, about God, right? Or Jesus saying. That was kind of confusing. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without works, and I'll show you faith by my works. So I think this is what I think it says. If you show faith in God, or faith in Jesus, or trust in Jesus, and then He'll show you the work that you need to do. I don't know if that's right. I could be totally wrong about that. But that's what I think that part of that passage is talking about, is trusting in Jesus, trusting in God, and then He will show you the work that you have to do to accomplish that. I don't know if that's right.
Mine says it's
A little different.
yeah, it's a
little
little
different.
easier.
Okay, go for it.
But someone will say that you have faith and I have actions. Show me this faith of yours without the actions, and I will show you my faith by my actions.
Okay, so that makes more sense. So it's
So-
talking about,
So it's kind of like two people coming up and saying, yes, I could jump over that ravine and make it to the other side. The one person says, yes, I can do it, and walks away and goes the other way. Well, he's saying, I'm not going to proclaim my faith, I'm just going to jump over. Because my actions will show that I believe that I can do it.
right. Okay, that makes more sense. The way they worded in this Bible is weird. But that's cool. I like that. That's good stuff, man. Alright, so 19. You believe that God is one, and you do well. The demons also believe and shudder. But do you want to know, you empty person, that faith without works is dead? So it's just reiterating that even demons believe that God is one, and that if you have faith without works is dead. What does yours say, Aaron?
You
19.
believe that God is one? Good for you. The demons believe it too. The thought makes them shudder with fear. But foolish fellow, do you want to be shown that such faith, apart from action, is barren? That goes on Abraham.
Yeah. So wasn't Abraham our father provided righteous by works when he offered up his son Isaac on the altar? So that's talking about Isaac and Abraham. And what we'll do kind of a backup story. God told Abraham to go to the mountain and there was an altar on it, and He said, "Go sacrifice your son." And just put yourself in Abraham's perspective. That was his only son.
That he didn't get till he was over 100.
Yeah. That's crazy. That was his only son. And Abraham's promise was that you'll be a father of many nations, that there would be nations upon nations upon nations. And long story short, he goes to the mountain, about to sacrifice Isaac. He has the knife in his hand, and all of a sudden he hears God's voice, and he says, look at over here, there's a bush with the rams stuck in it. And he was about to sacrifice his son, and he said, wait. And he looked and saw, and he said, and God told him to take the lamb and sacrifice it. And that's just showing that Abraham had work. He had faith that God was going to do something, but he also had to put the work to it. Even though it seemed like, oh my gosh, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
To sacrifice my own son. To sacrifice him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But he had that kind of faith or intimacy with him to understand that God had something planned bigger than him. Let's go to 22. You see that faith works together with works, and by works his faith was made complete. The scripture was fulfilled that says, and Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. And he was called God's friend. So when we understand that faith and works are together, that we can then be called righteousness, as Abraham was called righteousness. That's awesome to think. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't think of yourself as righteous, right? Most people don't. I'm not righteous. I can't be righteous. But it says clearly, if we have faith or trust in God and we work and the work that He has for us and we work it, He calls us righteous. He calls us friends of God. That's awesome. I mean, even before Jesus came, Abraham had that promise. That's awesome to think. That's cool. That's so cool. I don't know if you guys are getting anything, but I'm sure enjoying myself. I don't know about you guys, but this is awesome. Okay, and then let's go 24. And you see that a man is proved righteous by the works, not by faith alone. And you see that a man is proved righteous by works and not by faith alone. That's just reiterating what we kind of were talking about earlier. And likewise, was it Rahab,
I think.
No, it's a woman. Rahab, the prostitute, also provided righteousness by the works when she welcomed the messengers and sent them out away another way. So let's go back to her name. She's from Joshua, and she was the one that put out a red hanky or whatever in the window saying, okay, to the spies of Joshua, because I think it was Joshua 2, I think, is when they were walking around Jericho. And Joshua, before they started walking around, they said, I'm going to send in spies, so go and search the land and kind of see what's happening, what's going on over there. And they made it to the wall, they made it inside Jericho, and if I remember correctly, there's guards that are chasing them, and and Rahab, I don't know how you say that.
Rahab.
Oh, is it? And she helps them, and she wants to have protection over what's going to happen when Joshua and the Israelites come to Jericho. So, because she had faith in God and did the work to protect Joshua's spies, God was faithful to protect her family and keep her family from what Joshua and the Israelites did to Jericho. So that's cool. I kind of did kind of a history kind of thing on that to make sure that was even, if that was true, and it was. And let's finish it up. For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. So it's just kind of reiterating what we've been talking about is, for just as the body without the spirit is dead, so is faith without works is dead. And guys, I don't know if this hits home for any of you, but sometimes I'm pretty good at doing lip service, like, oh yeah, I believe that, that's cool. But I don't actually put work into saying, okay, how can I partner with this person to show that I want a work to happen in my life and in their life as well. And it's hard to sometimes figure out how to do that, but as long as you're trying to do a work, I think He still is faithful enough, and He still wants us to understand that as long as you're trying to do a work with that faith or with that encounter with me, or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, if we're faithful and doing the work, He'll show up and He'll do what He does best, which is showing His love, showing coldness to people, doing miracles, doing whatever He wants. We just have to be faithful, and we have to be understanding that without being faithful, we need to do also works, because for just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. So if we're saying, oh yeah, we're going to bring people to church, or yeah, we're going to bring people to youth, and we don't do it, then that's just saying faith. That's just like showing faith without works. I'm not saying that everyone does that. I'm just saying you need to be faithful to what God has called you to do and what your work is to do in His kingdom. And I don't know, I think I'm rabbit trapping.
No, I understand.
But I'm not saying that you're sinning because you're not having faith or anything like that. It's just, or works with faith. It's just hard because I understand, because I do it myself. I sometimes have faith and just say, okay, yeah, I believe that, that's cool. But in reality, I don't do anything with that. That's kind of sad, but it's true. And I don't want you guys to be like that. I want you guys to understand that we don't have to just lip it and say, okay, yeah, I want to do that, and I want to do that for God, and you don't do it. That's just being church as a church. Yeah, I want to bring people to church, and you don't. That's how it is, I guess. I don't know.
You can't, I guess you can't like, just expect, like, I don't know, I guess I'm getting what you're saying, and it's all going on my mind and all these things, but I just can't, okay, like, you can't expect God to just, like, give it to you without you, like,
Pursuing after it.
yeah, working on it, and, like, showing effort, and showing, like, bring people to church, like, you can't just expect people to just come because nobody's gonna know about it. You know, you have to put in the effort, and then one day it's, you know, after you keep trying, you keep trying. Like, think that's whenever he shows up, you know. I mean he's there, but
Right.
he allows things to happen whenever you put in that effort.
What do you have there?
I was gonna say you can't expect your, expecting to get healing or free from something if you're not partnering with him, if you're not, like you said earlier, if you're not praying and seeking that part of your relationship with him, it's not gonna happen. Yes, I know that God performs miracles and heals, but I'm not seeing healing, but I'm not praying, I'm not acting out, I'm not I'm not actively doing anything
To
to allow that
Allow
to
that
happen
to
in
happen.
my life. I'm not worshiping, I'm not rejoicing. That's a better. I'm not rejoicing in the fact that I'm healed. It's that perspective of I need healing in my life and I'm praying for healing rather than healing was already given to me on the cross and I'm rejoicing in the fact that I'm not a sick man fighting off sickness. I'm a whole man declaring my health and moving